Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode ever of Connecting Greeks. I'm Angelo Tsarouchas in Los Angeles, along with your co-hosts, Kalos and Foti Stamos in Boston and in Washington. And guys, I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about it. It's a new show, connecting people, connecting us Greeks from all around the world. We want to hear what's going on. We want to discuss what's happening. We want to laugh, maybe cry a little bit, maybe argue a little bit. Just think of Sunday dinner at your house with all your family coming together every week. And we're going to be the guys who do it. We're going to have guests. We're going to have fun. And I'm really looking forward to it, gentlemen.
Yes, and Angela, as you mentioned, we miss these Sunday gatherings since we can't do it anymore. So we might as well do it on this segment, right?
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
And you know what, Angelo? You know what? You're an old pro. You've been around the block. You've done a couple of rodeos before. So
a couple.
Foti and I have been doing podcasting and video shows for a while now. We had a brainchild of who's our favorite guy to talk to shoot the shit, to have fun. And, we're Greek. So who has a good perspective on this?
And understands us.
And we came to a unanimous decision of get Angelo on the phone and get him on this show, please. Because we hung out, we've had a good time. You've done shows with us. You've done shows around the world. You are the guy. You are the guy. So we are so happy to have you with us. We're so happy that you can do this with us. And it's unfortunate of the circumstances that we're under that keeps you available to do this with us. But we're happy. we're happy that you are.
And I'm sure, Angelo, you touched upon so many Greeks around the world, right? Right, and it seems that we're all experiencing the same feelings, no matter whether we're in Canada, the U.S., Australia, South Africa, right? I mean, there's something about us living outside of the motherland.
Well, the thing is, guys, is that we're all going through this together. And I think one thing I learned is a shared experience. Traveling as a comic of Greek descent, it doesn't matter what your accent or where you're situated geographically. That doesn't make a difference. Greeks are Greeks. It doesn't change anywhere in the planet. And I think that's why, and I love when thank you, by the way, to you and to Adi for thinking of me to do this with you guys. I'm honored to do it because I do love you guys, and we do have a lot of fun when we're together. And it's the Greek thing. We pick up where we leave off. We may not talk for a couple of months, and then we just pick up from there. And I think the idea is a lot of people want to share those experiences together. So when you guys told me about Connecting Greeks, first, I love the name because it's inviting. It's like connecting Greeks. You're not excluding anybody. Elate oli mazi. Let's all get together and let's discuss these things that we have to go through, because some of it is funny. And I think a lot of people are feeling angst. They're feeling some sort of depression or anxiety. I'm feeling it too, because our lives aren't what they used to be. And now it's okay, let's do something once a week where let people listen to us, let them talk about what we're doing, let them come in with us too, let them share the experiences. So I think I'm really looking forward to this.
Likewise.
And the other thing about you, Angelo, is we used to do a very, very popular website for the Greek community.
Yes.
And we met everybody within the Greek community, every
right.
celebrity. We're talking from American to Greece to everywhere. I honestly have to tell you, Angelo, you were one of the dudes. Well, I don't want to say dudes, but you were one of the people that we met that was so like us, was so down to earth. You're not one of those people that we have to kind of change and be all proper with, because you're a celebrity and this and that. You were just a very down-to-earth guy. You spoke like us. We hung out. We joked around. We made fun of people. We just like kicked it. And it was so much fun. And that's one of the main reasons why we love you so much, because you are just like us.
No, I think I appreciate that, by the way. And somebody said that to me. They go, you know, they always think, well, you're a celebrity, right? My wife, a lot of people, I never look at myself that way. I look at myself, guys, honestly, as a lucky guy who has a great job, you know. And I think especially Greeks, and you guys will understand what I'm saying. With Greeks, you can't try to act like you're above them, but don't act like you're below them either. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in the middle of it. And I know, because it's like you can't have that attitude. Not anymore. Maybe once upon a time you could be a diva. And I'll call these Greek singers, and I've worked with a lot of them, and man, they're complicated people. but I'm thinking now, you know, hey, relax now. We're all trying to get a gig. So it's funny that, and I'll say this, I've met some Greek singers that are really, you could genuinely see they're down to earth, and they work at the shows, or they work for the people. But then there's others, man, that are like, wow, I've heard the stories, you know, no names mentioned, but it's like.
That's awesome, Angelo. And like we said, like you're true. You're a true person. And I personally appreciate that about you, because I mean, way before I ever met you, I saw you in Harold and Kumar. I saw you in SWAT. I saw you in like all these things, Mad Men. And like, I noticed you because you're a presence. Like, you're a presence. I'm just going to leave it at that. You are a presence that leaves a mark. And then when we actually met you, I was like, this guy is just, he's a really cool guy. He's a down-to-earth guy. He really like represents the Greek person, and it's awesome. And we thank you for that. And
thanks. So you're saying I'm like the Greek rock?
Yeah. You're the Greek rock.
Petra.
If you could get 1% of his worth, then I'm
no shit
forever.
That means you're going to.
But that's the thing. You got to listen. Life's too short to be a malaka, right? and it really is. And we know enough of them. And I think it's, you know, I did a gig once in Denver, and they picked me up at the airport. And I guess somebody said that I was difficult or whatever it was. It was for the Greek community in Denver. So the guy comes to pick me up at the airport, and I'm walking by. I walk in, I go, hey man, how you doing? I'm Angelo. He goes, oh, hi, I'm doing. Let's say Gus, because it's probably Gus. Sure. And we got in the car, Gus, and he goes, what do you want to do? I go, oh, you know what? Let's go to the hotel, check in. And then you want to get a bite and then a stogie? And the guy looked at me like, don't you have dietary restrictions? I go, do I look like I have dietary restrictions? What dietary restrictions? What are you talking about? And the guy goes, oh, somebody said that look at me. What? I have dietary restrictions.
Wait, Angelo, you don't have a rider that says pick out all the green M&Ms out of the bowl and all that stuff?
Nothing. Don't mix subs with pizza. Don't mix Kinesica with Italica. Like, I mean, it's funny. I think people have the best story, guys, was when I went to Arizona once to do a show, and this guy Matt picked me up. Nice guy, Matt. I think it's Matt. I can't remember his last name. So I pretended I pretended that I couldn't speak English. So he got in. He couldn't. You know. And I got in. And I go, yeah, you're Matt. Yeah, Yasu Matt. Emo Vagelis. Iltra Kalumeto Tibarastasi Popse. Harika Parapuli Pusignori. He's looking at me, and he didn't know. And I know he couldn't. And he goes, look, Milau, Ligo, Alinika. The Milau, and then I kept talking to him in Greek, right? And his sister who booked me, he doesn't know now. He doesn't know that I can speak English, of course. So when he got there, we got outside, And I saw his sister go, Lenny, how you doing? How are you? And he's looking at me, and I started laughing. He goes, you speak English? I go, yeah. He goes, shit. Am I ever glad, man? Because you were supposed to do a show for us. And I thought, if this guy does the show entirely in Greek, we're screwed. So I do things like that. He still laughs about it.
Right? You must have fun with just feeling and sizing people up before things happen.
Yeah. That's what life's about, right, Foti? We need to, I think right now, because we said we're going to talk about COVID. Let me ask you guys. I know it's hard to find the humor now, but we need to find something bright now.
Absolutely.
Because everything's scata right now. We need to find something bright, anything, whatever it is now, because this is tough times for a lot of people right now.
Sure.
It's tough times for people. It's uncertainty, and people are, I know I'm very scared of uncertainty. There's just so much going on, and we talk to a lot of people now virtually, and we do like these webinars, we do these podcasts, and everybody's like freaked out. But you know what? You are 100% right. Like, you have to find that silver lining. You have to see, like, what is good about what's going on. And you know what? We could always find humor. Humor never leaves. You'll never lose humor. You just have to, you have to have a mindset like, you know what? This sucks. I hate this shit, but at least, like,
right.
I could watch like this show, or I could watch some show, or I could do something that's going to make me laugh and make me feel better. And that's what we're doing here. And I hope, because people,
well, no, you're right, Ari, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. I know it's difficult because remember this, the Greeks coined this phrase, comedy is tragedy plus time. We're going through tragedy right now. Eventually, we will come out of this. And ironically, here's the best statistic about it. And maybe we should bring Ellen. I don't know if she's joined us yet or not.
Yeah, she's in. She's in.
So let's introduce Ellen, and I want to ask you guys a question, which I think this is funny about COVID. So before we bring on our next guest, let me introduce her. She is a wonderful comedian, actor, and writer from New York City. I've had the pleasure of working with her many times everywhere, Canada and the US. She has her own podcast called Karos Corner, and she's hilarious. And her name is Ellen Karos, and she's from New York. And let's bring her on so we can talk to Eleni.
Hi.
Hi, Eleni. How are you, beautiful? How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to Connecting Greeks. So we're connecting now.
I know.
And you're with.
I'm so excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're with. There's Adi, there's Ari, and there's Fotios, who we're doing this together with. Okay. And when they asked me who we should talk to, I said, you know what? This is our first episode doing this Connecting Greek things on Zoom and stuff. I said, we got to get Ellen on this one because you're in New York, I'm in LA, they're in Boston and in Washington. So we're all over the country here. How you doing?
I'm good. Well, I have to admit, I didn't exactly know what this was, but anytime somebody sends me a Zoom link, I'm on. I mean,
it's very brave of you to come on in bed and all comfortable. And you don't know what.
No, this is my stage now. Okay, this is the only thing exciting happening in bed these days is talking to people I don't know. But I get a Zoom link and I'm like, I'm in. I mean, it could be the Turkish underground. I don't know, but I'm getting on because I need 5 minutes because I got to work out. So thanks for inviting. I'm not in New York. I was. We're in South Carolina now. We're in Hilton Head.
Ah, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we usually do this family trip, my sisters, the kids, whatever. And usually what happens is mid-trip, toward the latter half of the trip, everybody fights and we leave not speaking to each other. But I guess maybe because of COVID, we decided, life is short, okay? So we did all of our fighting before we came on the trip. So, because we talked to each other like a month, And now we're here, and we seem to be talking to each other now. So that's good.
That's classic.
You're a very typical Greek. Is that what you're saying?
Is that what it is?
I believe so.
I just thought that my family needs a lot of Xanax. Is really what I thought it was. But,
Yeah.
They're nuts. They're nuts, and they get pissed, and you don't even know why. I mean, But anyway, it's okay. It keeps you on your toes. But anyway, so I'm in Hilton Head. Great. And I got to tell you, New York's a mess. I don't know if anybody's been there. If you haven't been, don't go. There's nothing to see. When you do go to a restaurant, you eat in the bus lane. Just they're eating outside.
Yeah.
So you get a bus lane seat.
Oh,
and there's been a lot of crime. It's crazy, man. It's the 70s. A lot of looting. And I was curious because I was wondering, like let's say I looted, hypothetically, okay? And I looted a pair of Reg and Bowden jeans, which are like my favorite jeans. And I came home, and of course, they're probably going to be snug by the ass, right? Because typical. Does anybody know what the return policy is for looting? Like, can I exchange them? Do I need a receipt? Will they be able to just look at the surveillance video and see that it was me, that I stole the jeans? Like, I was just wondering.
You make sense, because if enough people loot, then they should just have a looting line, and they're like, you know what, we'll just give you $10 for whatever you looted.
I mean, really, and there's people, these vlakes, these malakes, that are saying how, well, the stores have insurance, so it's fine. It's just fine. Everything is just fine. It's great. No problem. Homeless, you're walking home homeless. The mayor quotes Karl Marx, which really makes you feel good,
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Great. Not to get political. I'm just telling you the truth. So anyway, we're here in Hilton Head, and I got on stage last night too, which was great. There's a comedy club here.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they're happy.
Now let me ask you, Ellen.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Ellen. When you're on stage, did they have the plexiglass on stage for separating from the audience? That's what they're doing in Canada. They're putting plexiglass in front of the comedians.
Oh, that's for real?
Yeah, I swear, that's happening.
But I got to tell you, because it's South Carolina, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So it was
Right.
great. I mean, I walk in, nobody's like wearing a mask. I mean, they're half capacity, but in a Governor's, Ange, where you and I have played on Long Island,
Right.
they're doing it outside, and they've got plexiglass there as well. So that one I know for. I gotta tell you, it's so weird. So I live in a doorman building, and I know this might like a little foreign to you, but in New York, there's a lot of that. And the doormen become like part of your family. They come in, blah 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 blah. And one day I walked in, and the doorman is behind the plexiglass, like at the racetrack, with the circle and like the
Right.
And it's a whole new relationship now. I'm like, hi, Omar, do I have any packages from Amazon? And can I place a bet in the 5th race on Sweet Tea? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird, like everything is weird.
So weird.
Ugh, it's strange. But anyway, it was great to be on stage.
Well, that's great. Now, Ellen, let me ask you, right now, I agree with you. New York and LA are a shit show right now. The same thing's happening here as it's going on in New York. And with all the COVID, I was telling Foti and Adi, isn't it ironic that one of the leaders in the world that was way ahead of the game when it came to COVID was Greece? Do you know they're the 3rd most obedient country in the world? They almost, I think, next to Israel and some other country, the Greeks were world leaders and getting ahead of the COVID crisis. My question to all of you is it because they saw what happened in Italy? Because by nature, and Ellen said it earlier, we don't like being told what to do as Greeks, and we don't listen to people very well. In the history, we haven't. For some reason, what made the Greeks get ahead of this COVID-19? Like, I'm very proud of them, by the way, that they were able to do that. But what do you guys think is the reason for that?
You mentioned about Italy. I mean, the same thing in Greece. They have a elderly population, good news for us is good genetics.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that a little bit of it had to do with the fact that they wanted to protect their elderly. And quite frankly, they don't have the healthcare system that if everybody did get sick, what would happen. So the fact that they took those measures was, first of all, very commendable. And probably knowing that it would have been an absolute catastrophe, had that happen. And not for nothing, everybody, but we're not populating as a species. I mean,
true.
How many Greeks are there? There's us and John Stamos. I mean, there's nobody. There's nobody left.
No, but Eleni, because by nature, Greeks don't like being told what to do and are very defiant.
Yes, I know. Yes,
as you know, but I have to. People come up to me going, "Hey, we saw what happened in Greece. Congratulations!" And I'm like, "What? What happened?" "Oh, you guys are way ahead of the curve, and you guys are." I'm like, "Bravo!" I go, "Are you sure you're talking about the right country here, Greece?" "Oh no, it's Greece." I think last week. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I know, just like you guys know, that very defiant. If the government's telling them something to do, they won't do it, blah, blah, blah. But I think Italy did play a big role in that. And if Greece was the first place hit and nobody else had it and the government was telling them what to do, I think it would have went south. But I think because they actually had something to look at and they're like, you know what? I hate people telling us what to do, but I don't want that to happen to me or my family. And Greeks are very strong people. So once you get their mentality into not being defiant, but being like protective, and Italy caused us to go from defiance to protectiveness, they were like, we're going to do everything we can to protect our people. And they did it. And that's my take on it.
Well, I think it's a great example. And I think maybe you're 100% right. That's what happened. Because I always find, and don't you find this, guys, as we get older, don't you realize that all the things our parents used to do, we're starting to do it now? Like I'm walking around my house, Zviro ta fota. Ti mas ta domesa trapeza. Klisa ta fota. I got the thermostat at 78. My wife goes, "Why? What's wrong?" I go, "Put the thermostat at 78. What do you have it at 72 for?" And now I've turned into my dad. And I'm like, what the hell happened to me? Right? So I'm going around the house, turning off the lights and turning down the thermostat and yelling at people.
Absolutely. That's classic. I'm 100% like that. I don't know about anybody else, but yes.
Yeah. When I see my niece, my 16-year-old niece with shorts up to her bicino, I'm like, "What you putana?"
Oh boy.
Clothes on, for God's sakes. That's totally like.
And did you ever wear those types of shorts? I'm sure you probably did at some point.
Of course. That's how come I know what the line is, right?
That's the best. That's the best part right there.
Oh, now here, guys, I got something on chat here. Lena, hi, Lena. Thanks we have a chat, by the way.
Woo!
Lena says, bottom line is Greeks were threatened with fines and they fell in line. Very well said.
That's true. That's true.
Greeks probably go, "Hey, prostimo na plurosis." No. We're gonna do. Well, you know what they were doing in Athens? If you were buying groceries, you had to text the store, and when you were walking down the street, if the cops, the astronomia, would pull you over, you had to show them the text from the grocery store, and if you didn't have it, you get fined. So the Greeks got right ahead of it. I think Mitsotakis has done a very good job. The Prime Minister of Greece.
He did an excellent job, I think.
He did, And they never leave Greece alone, by the way. Look what's going on. Turkey's on the border, starting with them, the Bulgari, the Albanians. They never seem to leave Greece alone. And don't you ever notice, guys, it normally happens during tourist season. Because because the Greeks, the whole world is going to Greece now.
That's a very good point.
Now,
you know what?
Now,
if this COVID didn't happen, I predicted they would have had like the best year, because the last
100%.
few years have been incredible.
Right. And you know what it is, Ellen, what's happening now? If you look at Greece now, This is how they break down Greece. There's Mykonos, there's Santorini, and then there's Greece. Because I got people go, oh my God, we're going to Mykonos or we're going to Santorini. I'm like, it's part of Greece, right? Oh no, we're just going to go to Mykonos or Santorini. So it's become a brand. Like those are some of the most popular places on the planet. There was that sheikh from the Emirates who for a week spent $25 million in Mykonos. He brought camels and belly dancers on the beaches with tiki torches. Guy, the Greeks were like, "Posa da sodepsi, ikosipede katomiria, kalo ti theli." So they would do whatever you want. With Greeks, if you spend 25 million, buddy, do whatever you want on the beach.
It's true.
But Angelo, unfortunately now because of some leniency and flexibility, Mykonos was just cited the other day. Their numbers are going up because they're becoming a little too free with their lifestyle again.
Oh, and Mykonos, well, it was going to happen, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to happen.
It's
right?
inevitable.
It's going to happen. So let's ask Alan. Let me ask you because we don't want to keep you too much from your vacation time, but at the same time,
oh, trust me, I got time.
Yeah, I know you guys. I was saying that facetiously. My short-term speech is screwed now. I can't even talk anymore. What do you think? Let me ask you. What's the future for us as stand-up comedians? And we've had these bitch sessions before. Yeah. What's the future right now for us? Because for me, the year is done. My year is done. 2020, horrible year. And everybody keeps asking me, hey, when are you guys doing a show? When are you? I don't know when we're going to. Now, you're lucky you got on stage in South Carolina. I'm envious of that. But overall, when do you think we're going to get back to what seems to be normal?
I can speak for New York in that, we are, when we talk about like following Broadway's lead, because that shut down to like the spring. But the governor and the mayor, and again, I'm not getting political. They're just such egomaniacs, and they don't get along, and they mismanage the whole thing. And they're both so power hungry that they feel like this is their moment, which means it has nothing to do with them. But what I think what's happening is the restaurants, because this whole outdoor dining is going to end in like October, mid-October, it starts to get cold. So this is just a temporary solution. And by the way, there is no reason why at this point they shouldn't have people in the restaurant. Even if you do half inside too, there's no reason for it
Agreed.
At all. So get back to stand-up comedy. I think what's happening is, and I'm reading it a little bit on Facebook and stuff, the restaurant owners are starting to get together. The comedy club guys will also be there as well. And they're going to start putting a lot of pressure on the mayor and the governor to open up. So I think that, again, we're not yet exactly, we're already in August. So I agree with you, the 2020, whatever we can, scrape together, we're going to do, obviously. And whatever we're going to do is going to definitely be at a limited capacity. Now, for you and I, and that do the Greek shows, and we do, or other fundraisers, right? Fundraisers are all about getting as many people in the room as possible.
Yeah, cramming it in, yeah.
That's going to be a challenge. And also because again, we do a lot of the Hellenic, a lot of functions like that. A lot of private functions are also scheduled in advance. So like if we were to go to something next month, right? Like, you and I probably were booked on something, would have been booked on something,
yep.
4 things in September, because that's when the Greeks start coming back to do their entertainment fundraising in the fall. But because this hit back in, February, March, they didn't plan anything, or like with us, things whatever I had in the fall got canceled. So that's a problem. The problem is that those events cannot get scheduled until everybody feels like they can have at least a room full of people that'll make it profitable. I mean, so there are the Zoom shows, and as a matter of fact, and Angela, I want to talk to you maybe after you do this or something, because somebody approached me, and I was pitching them a Zoom show and trying to kind of explain to them for you and I, but you know, I've done a few of those as well. It's fine, it's great. We you know, you find your rhythm in doing them. But it's not obviously a live comedy show, and not everybody is into it, which is fine. You know, I mean, I understand. So to answer your question, I think we got to my personal opinion, and let's hope I'm right, is that there's not going to be this second wave. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it, which again, we should, you know, I should be right.
Right.
So I think we need to get through that so we show that there isn't a second wave. This thing is going to die. There'll be like something else, in my opinion. And then in 2021, people will start feeling comfortable as they loosen these restrictions of coming in. But, you know, there's no, like, I used to be an accountant, so I'm a huge numbers person. It's all about the numbers. And even from the very, very beginning, I was always like, well, what are the numbers? What are the percentages? And again, I'm not saying that when this thing came out of the gate, it wasn't, you know, scary and bad and we didn't know. And I get all that. And I'm not, you know, I'm certainly not an epidemiologist. But once we got past the curve and the flattening and the this and the that, I mean, our governor and mayor think that they should shut down until not, you know, one person ever has it. I mean, it's a ridiculous thing. So plus they are testing a lot. And every time, and again, I'm not, it's not a political thing, but every time Trump says, well, we're testing more, they attack them. But if you test more, you're going to get more results. And not everybody has it. Clearly not everybody, thank God, dies from it. I think there's a lot more information that we know. So like, let's get on with life already. But I don't think that that's going to happen until we get through, you know, this fall and that. So 2021, hopefully.
You know, it's funny you say that, Ellen, because I think I have this theory that after COVID's done, I've been distanced from a lot of people, and I hope it stays that way. Because, you know, some people are just, hey, I haven't talked to you in 6 months, and that's fine. You know, and other people I miss, and other people late. But I agree with what Ellen's saying. And, you know, guys, and this is why. Because somebody goes to me, are you practicing social distancing? I go, I'm practicing social skotoma. Because we're going to kill each other in here some days, right? But I think the problem is that it unfortunately has become a political thing, whether people want to admit it or not. And the reality of the thing is, I think most people just want to get back to work or what I was supposed to be in Greece this week. So I was supposed to go to Greece.
Here's finish, Angelo. No,
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, like, here's the thing about like the fact that around the world, this isn't really a political thing. You know, in the United States, it's a political thing, and it's weird to me because it's like, how is a virus politicized? The virus doesn't care who you are. The virus doesn't care if you're red or blue. The virus doesn't care. Like,
right?
It's a virus. So how do you politicize that? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, guys, we got another comment here. We got another comment from Maria. Hi, Maria Peters. She says, I love you guys, which is really nice.
She's talking to me, Angelo.
She's loving it. She's talking to you. Actually, Foti, he's got the better hair.
Oh, come on.
And she says, are you guys personally worried about travel, or is it just restrictions that you're worried about? Good question. You go wear the mask. You see on JetBlue yesterday, a little baby, 2 years old, the kid didn't want to put the mask on. They threw the family off the plane.
No.
Like, I'm trying to get a 2-year-old to put anything on. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's tough.
And there was a family with an autistic son, you know, and that's its own set.
It's difficult.
So I know that's really bad, but I don't, you know, that's a great question. I'm like 70% ready to get on a plane. I'm a little, like, I just want a little bit more time. But just to say your whole thing with social distancing is, I mean, listen, you know, I've gone out and, you know, people go shit over like the mask and whatever. I hate the mask. I'm not quite sure I'd buy into the mask, but I'll wear the mask. I want to be a good citizen and whatever. And when you go into a store, they ask you to wear the mask, just like you have to wear a shirt and shoes. Wear the mask. There's always one person that don't wear the mask, and then there's the other person that loses their shit, and then they start fighting, and then it's on Twitter, and I've got 2 words for you: fresh direct, okay? Don't go to Whole Foods, get it delivered, and
exactly.
Don't be out, okay? You know what's gonna happen. But
well, let me ask you guys: do you guys personally know anybody who has contracted COVID?
I do. You know what? I do. The priest in Ottawa, Canada, Father Alex, had COVID and was in the hospital for 3 months. And the psalty in the church, unfortunately, 39 years old, died of it.
Oh my God!
So he did. So now that's in Canada. Immediately here, I know somebody who knows somebody. But in Ottawa, Father Alex had it, and I'm so thankful that he came out of it. But the psalty in the church, 39 years old, died as a result of COVID. So I do know somebody that's had it. And but here, knock wood, nothing so far.
Good.
Actually, at our church, he was a pastoral assistant. His name was Daniel. I can't remember his last name. He was a convert. He got it, and his was in like March, and then he wound up going on the respirator. He got off the respirator.
Bravo.
But the next week, he that weekend or that few days later, he passed.
Oh my
God. It was a very big. The whole thing with the respirator. Again, this is just me personally. I'm no doctor. I was just an accountant that became a comedian. But I feel that in the very beginning, when they had no idea how to handle this thing, and a lot of people were put on respirators, and that was very taxing to the body. I think that was a huge issue. As you know, in New York State, there was a lot of negligence done with the nursing homes, and that actually added to the deaths tremendously. So that was the one person I know that passed. And then actually in our church, George Liakos, he's a doctor. He's an internist. So, and I'm assuming he caught it from the hospital. I'm not sure. Again, his was sort of like in the beginning. And he was on a respirator, but he did get off. But he needs therapy because the respirator just took so much out of him.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
But he's going to recover. But again, it really set him back. So that I know. And then I know just a lot of people on Facebook, comics that have said they've had it. But those are 2 that are like off the top of my head. But
yeah, I mean it's a crazy situation. I for like a while, like for the first 2 months, I'm all about like, oh my God, stay home. Wear your masks. I'm all about that personally. But I started getting to the point where I was like, I don't even know anybody who has it. Like, is this like something? Is this one way? Is it the other? But I always stuck to what I should be doing. And now in the last like couple of months, I started like hearing about a lot of like people that I know personally that were getting sick, that were contracting it, I know 2 people who passed away. And it was at that point where I was like, you know what? During World War II, like you couldn't eat sugar and you couldn't eat meat and you couldn't do a lot of things. All right, well, we're asked to stay home as much as possible. We're asked to wear a mask. Like, that's not a big deal to me. Like, whatever. If it helps, hopefully, because I do know people who like suffered, and like hopefully that's something. And then I hear of like a lot of schools opening and then they're closing and then a lot of this and a lot of that.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like I just I wish we could all just agree on something so we could get past it. That's what I want. I want to just get past it. And if doing something that inconveniences you to pass it works, let's do it. Is it a fact that it works?
We're not sure.
I'm just assuming it is, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not anything. I'm just following, what I think is right. I don't know.
I like the way you said epidemiologist. You didn't hesitate. You epidemiologist, and
It comes from the Greek root.
But Foti, let me ask you, Foti, because I know you're in the wine business, and you're as wine sales gone up, I would imagine they have.
Yeah, Angelo, alcohol in general has gone through the roof. I haven't seen, like, just from all of my associates in the industry, can you believe that they're not just selling a lot, but running out?
Really?
There's a huge, shortage in the industry, believe it or not, of aluminum cans because of the demand of canned alcoholic products now, because people are actually stocking up. They're not going out as much. We just mentioned, like, who wants to go to a restaurant and sit in the bus lane to enjoy, tuna tartare and champagne. But a lot of folks are resorting to just dining at home, and they're stocking up on a lot of alcoholic beverages because there's this thing about a fear of, like, what if they run out? I just need to, and people are just buying boatloads of product, and it's really become this phenomenon in the industry where it's never been seen before. Even though the restaurants are shutting down and the consumption, the restaurant side is low,
the drink.
The at-home consumption has gone through the roof. And what's happening as well, I talked to some of my friends who are in law enforcement, then that triggers other issues. The parapona, the griña at the house, arguing, an accidental slap in the face converts into, different situations.
What?
So,
what?
Yeah, so, like, unfortunately, the domestic situation at home is not that good either.
No, I'm not laughing at that. The accidental sbagliata.
The way he phrased it is funny.
I didn't mean it, but it happened.
Listen, I just did it last night to my husband. I hear you. I understand.
Right?
Hey, Ellen, you imagine I gave you an accidental sbagliata. I didn't mean to, but I didn't like the way you were looking at me. So, Bob, I gave you one in the side of the head.
You know what's funny, guys? My buddies in law enforcement can sympathize for the ones that are taking these actions. Like, I get it. I can see why this is happening. Because, like you mentioned, most folks are locked up in their own environment, four walls, and there's a lot of thoughts running through their minds. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of fear, and no one really knows how to behave sometimes.
Yeah, let me ask you guys. How are you guys sleeping? Because I'm not. I'm going to bed between 6 and 7 o'clock every morning because I realized that my life's over and I'm not working. And my friend goes, why are you going to bed so late? Why? If I get up early and do what? I'll get up. I get up when I should be. I go to bed when I should be getting up, and I can care. I don't even care anymore.
Angelo, I'm gonna share my secret of sleep with you, and that's counting Fotis when I'm laying in bed. I count 40 jumping over a little fence in various outfits and telling me different phrases that I like, and I'm right to bed, no problem.
Well, Ellen, how about you? How's your sleep pattern? Because I know you. I've worked on the road with Ellen. She's got her shit together. She has a pattern. And
as comics, I think you guys need to, right?
I'm a little regimented, as you know, Ange. So,
yes.
I also am a big workout person. So I do my 9:30 wake up. I do I wake up at usually around 7:30, same kind of like the same time. I do my workout every day. I worked out anyway before, but when this hit, I'm very holistic. I'm into vitamins and natural foods and all that kind of stuff when I can. And I was very into making sure that I kept my immune system up. And because let me tell you, nobody loves to pig out and cookies and I love that stuff, but I'm like, that's gonna kill me. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I kept working out. Thank God the dance studio I go to, they started to do the online stuff, which it took a while to get used to. And then I live in an apartment. As a matter of fact, I just put in like a dance floor so I can, jump around and stuff. I swear to God. So, so I've been doing that. So I try to keep to a more of a routine. I will tell you, I've had some really crazy dreams. Like they call them the COVID dreams.
The
Like
COVID dreams, yeah.
I dreamt that I made out with my teacher from 6th grade, which is really weird, I mean, not when I was like, he looked like what I remember him in 6th grade, and I was me now. That was that. And then last night, I just had a dream because I told my husband, so I remembered it, that he left me for somebody that looked like Cardi B. And and I found them cheating at the play Hamilton. Like it was like insane. It was insane.
It's all sorts of pop culture coming into your dream.
I can't. It was crazy.
What kind of vitamin?
Play Hamilton.
Wait, what kind of vitamins do you take in?
Natural.
Well, you know what, guys? I'll share this. I'll share this. My friend Russell gave me, goes, I haven't used it yet, but it's called Care by Design. And it's speaking of holistic, it's like chamomile, and you have a little puff and it makes you go to bed.
Oh, it's a vape?
It's a vape. It's a vape.
Vape?
I haven't used it. Whenever I do the Greek shows, I never say weed. I always say chamomile. So
Yeah.
But I haven't needed it yet. And it's like a dummy, what I did, stupid me, I got Nugenics.
Hello.
Oh, testosterone.
Testosterone. I've taken 2 tablets. And the reality is, these are things I'm doing that I would normally never do in my life. But now with COVID and all the malakias that are happening, I'm buying things I don't need.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So Nugenics is like a testosterone builder, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I need it. My wife says I don't. But I saw that guy, the baseball player on TV.
Your wife will know better than you.
Exactly. And I'm thinking, and I said to her the other day, I said, maybe I need something to enhance. She goes, you need a de-enhancement. She goes, you Greeks are like the horniest people in the world. I don't know what's wrong with you all the time. I go, it's COVID. Gamoto, we gotta.
All right. Now you're bragging, but okay.
No. That's not happening all the time though either, because most times what's happening is I'm sitting on the couch and I'll start watching like Money Heist or Morning Show, and then I'll fall asleep. And then I'll wake up at 7:45 in the morning. My daughter's waking me up and going, Daddy, I want cereal. I go, what the hell? Why are you still on the couch? So it's that kind of thing, So I don't know. I'm asking you guys. I'm completely whacked out. I'm whacked out of whack.
But Ange, you always had a crazy schedule. I mean, you travel a ton. You travel more than I do. My show's a little more tri-state areas. And you do cruise ships, which like totally wreaks havoc on your body clock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's sort of like a combination of things, because you haven't had a regimented schedule, time zones, Australia,
going here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really do that much in LA. Everything is Canada. You go West Coast to Ottawa, which is like Central Time or Eastern Time. I mean, so I definitely could see that happening.
New York. Well, just like me and Ellen did this great show at Melrose Ballroom in February in New York, and it was great. It was a long way, and we still had a good. And now I'm thinking that show, Ellen, feels like it was 5 years ago now.
No, I know. By the way, I just want to say, you guys, I love working with Ange so much. It is not work. I mean, we have such a good time. We laugh so much before we go on stage and after we go on stage. Like, I would work with you 50 weeks out of the year. Like, we have the best time. He's so chill. You know, you just love people and just have fun and life. And I love your wife. I love your wife.
Thank you. They love you. Her and my daughter
your
love you.
And it's like family. It's great. I mean, family that I like, you know.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Like
and
others.
I miss it. And then we hang out and it's so good. And I miss a big part of that too. I can't wait to, you know, go back. And especially with the Greek shows, because listen, it's our people. We know each other, you know.
We know each other. Now they're getting antsy now because all these fundraising people are freaking out. They don't know what to do now, and they can't do nothing. So I'm hoping 2021 will double up as a year for getting some shows.
I hope so.
And but we're on this now. I think we're ready to wrap this up now. We said we were going to keep it to about 50 minutes. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah,
an hour ish. We're about 5:30 now. So, Ellen, I want to say thanks for coming on the show today with us. Ellen, tell us your credentials so people know where to find you and your website and your comedy corner.
And thank you so much for asking me. I was like so psyched to do this. My website is ellenkaras.com, ELLENKARIS. Yes, my name is Eleni, but Ellen Karas. For the Ameriki, Ellen Karas. And my Twitter and Instagram is @GreekChickComic. And I have a Facebook fan page, Ellen Karas, Greek Goddess of Comedy. And my podcast is called Karas Comedy Corner. If you go to my website, ellenkaras.com, all the episodes are on there. The newest one is always on the front page. I've had Ange. As a matter of fact, I want to get you back on because it's been quite a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been Zooming it. And it's also like every other podcast. It's on iTunes and Stitcher and all that. It's been Karas Comedy Corner. So that's where I am. YouTube videos, whatever, pictures in bathing suits. You know, I give it all to you. whatever you
I've
need.
said this before we let you go, Ari and Foti. I've said this before, and I've said it to Lenny, and I mean it. She would be great on The View. They need somebody like Ellen on The View. I think they're getting too lopsided on that show.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be perfect. Wouldn't she be good on The View? I think she'd be great.
Absolutely.
I think she'd be great for sure.
Well,
thanks for coming on today, Ellen. We love you. Thanks for taking the time to do this. And we'll wrap it up with the guys here.
I'll talk to you about what I wanted to talk to you about. Guys, thank you. This was awesome.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for being here.
We'll have you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye, Lenny. Bye-bye. Yeah, she's awesome, guys. She's got so much great energy, and you can see how funny she is. And I worked with her many times, and she's just, I love her. She's just great, you know, and she kind of tells it as it is.
I didn't say this when she was on, but like I saw her years ago in Boston doing stand-up, and I had a big crush on her.
Yeah, she's great. She's awesome, and it's good to, I mean, it's good to, I like the idea that we can bring somebody on and get another perspective on what's going on from different places, right? So it's always good. Anyway, and I've done so many shows with her, and as a comic, we're able to talk about the common things, the same things.
Yeah.
And there's not many Greek female comics. There aren't many. She's one of the best ones you're going to find.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know of really, honestly, any other outside of her.
No.
Personally.
No, absolutely not.
And it's weird because she's Greek and she's opinionated. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, she's smart. The thing I like about her is she's really smart, and she's very funny.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, comic's a comic. Doesn't matter what your background or belief is. You got to be funny. She delivers that. So yeah, she's very lovely. She's awesome, and I don't know what else. I think we had. How do you guys think our first day? Let's ask the people.
This was great.
If they want to come in.
Absolutely.
And we're putting up here. Let's see what the chats are saying, guys.
So,
Lena.
So yeah, she's asking. So all right. I know Dino Stamatopoulos, not personally, but I know him because I'm a huge fan of comedy.
Right.
And he's like a very well-known writer. I think he's.
I know the name. What show does he write on?
So this dude's written for like Conan. He's written for Letterman.
Right.
He's written
Right.
for way back in the day, Dana Carvey's show, which was
Wow.
very short living. I know him from a lot of like really good comedy. So apparently she's cousins with him.
Oh, nice.
And she wants
We
to
should
know,
get him on.
like, well, Greek.
I know.
Greeks don't know each other, right?
Yeah, I know who Dino Stamatopoulos is for sure. I know, and I know his work. He's really good. We should try to get him on as a guest. That'd be great.
Dude, absolutely. Like, I'm a huge.
Is he a Boston guy?
No,
Is he
no.
from Boston?
If memory serves, I think he's Chicago. If memory serves.
Okay.
He's a
Maybe
Chicago guy.
Okay.
But like, as a comedy fan of Conan, of what's it called? Letterman and not the Tonight Show, the
Jimmy Kimmel or Craig
one
Ferguson?
with the one.
The Daily Show.
Yeah, the Daily Show. The Daily Show.
Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Because I know this dude was like
That's
down with Steve Carell.
Right.
Who's the guy who does the other talk show?
And good for him for not changing his name.
Yeah, Dino Stamatopoulos.
Dino Stamatopoulos. That's it. Good for him, man. Owning the Greek thing. I respect that. He's Greek. When they don't change, even Zach Galifianakis never changed his name. I respect those guys.
Oh, Zach.
We got to get all these guys. We got to get these guys.
We got to get them on the show.
We got to get on here and talk to the Greek community.
Well, next week, fellas, we're going to hopefully get our good friend from Greece, Yorgos Hatzipavlo.
Yeah.
Another funny stand-up. We'll try to line up guests once. How do you guys feel? I like that. Funny, Ellen came on the show, became part of it. I think it worked really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Get everybody on here.
Yeah.
They're going to be part of the family.
So we'll definitely
put one on
because.
Yeah, and this is good. So I think unless we have we've been on. How long we've been on now for Adi? Do you know how long we've been on for?
65 minutes. 1 hour and 5 minutes.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll say. So everybody listening, thanks for listening. We're gonna put it out there. We're gonna make. I guess we're gonna repeat this so people can watch it who missed it, and we'll figure out what time next week works for everybody. We'll do another one of connecting Greeks.
Yeah,
and we're connecting.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned to the Instagram, to the Facebook, to the website, and you'll know when
all that
live shows are. And every show we do, we'll put it on YouTube so you can watch it anytime that's convenient for you. A podcast that's on all the major networks, and listen to it when it's convenient to you. And the live show, hopefully you could join us, ask questions, have fun with us, become our friend.
Yes, we want to be a friend. And remember, connectinggreeks.com. Right, Foti, connectinggreeks.com. Check Angelo Tsarouchas, Funny Greek. You can find me on all media platforms. And we'll see everybody on behalf of Foti Stamos, Adis Kalos. I'm Angelo Tsarouchas. Thank you for coming to the first one of Connecting Greeks. And we're going to connect again next week.
And listen, Angelo needs as many friends as possible. So please, just become a friend on the show so he feels better. We're trying to comfort him. Make him feel better. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Angelo, you are awesome. I love you.
You guys are awesome.
I love you, buddy.
Okay,
Thank
buddy.
you so much, and we will talk soon.
Nasekala.
Nasekala.
Yasas, pedia.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.